أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة لأهل التقوى واليقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين بالقاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المأسومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الله الحكيم في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. We briefly want to talk about this verse that we started off yesterday that discusses the vilayat of Imam Ali alayhi salam, the authority. There are translations of this word, not friendship, but authority. When we say Maula, we don't mean friend, but we mean master. Inna Allaha Maulaya, the Holy Prophet said, indeed Allah is my master. Wa ana Maula al-mu'mineen, and I am the master of all the believers. Faman kuntu Maulahu fahada Aliyun Maula. Whoever I am the master of, this Ali is his master. So the Ghadir announcement is that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ali is the master of all the believers. فَمَنْ كُنْتُ مَوْلَهُ فَهَذَا عَلِيٌّ مَوْلَى. And this ayat also is referring to Imam Ali as Wali, as Mawla. So it is important that we pay attention to this concept of vilayat. That Imam Ali has vilayat just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Ali has complete vilayat, authority over the believers. What is a proof that he is this word Maula, which has many meanings, and amongst them is friend, amongst them is a freed slave, amongst them is master. So we argue that it is logical. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, when the ayat came, Ya ayyuhar rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, fa in lam taf'al fama ballaghta risalatah. O my messenger, deliver to what has been revealed to you from thy Lord. If you do not, then you have not performed any duty of risalat. It is as if you have not performed any duty of risalat or messengership. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ وَاللَّهُ يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. Allah will protect you from the people. وَاللَّهُ يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. Indeed, Allah will protect you from the people. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide the disbelievers. Meaning, what does it mean that He doesn't guide? Meaning, when they do not accept, then He doesn't impose it upon them. Anyway, I don't want to go into that now. What is meant is that when this ayat came, the Holy Prophet prepared in the plains of Ghadir and he announced the vilayat of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. And he told the people that it is Ali who is your master. Man kuntu mawla fahada Aliyun mawla. Now, they say that no, he announced that he is a friend. Many of the Muslims say that the Holy Prophet ﷺ announced that Ali is a friend. Well, so much preparation just to announce that he's a friend. This preparation that anyone who's left, they should come back, and anyone who's behind, they should reach up to Ghadir. Anyone who has gone right or left, they all must come back to Ghadir. All of this preparation tells us that this announcement is not something common, something easy, something like that Ali is your friend. It is something very important, and especially he's announced that he is leaving this world, he's parting this world, so he must be announcing that, okay, now that I'm leaving, who is my successor? So it is important that we pay attention to this whole concept and the whole preparation. But nevertheless, people did not take it serious. Why? Well, whenever people conspire and take the governments into their own hands, most of the people just keep quiet because they think that they are powerful. Who is going to fight the government? So most people do not object even today. So in that time again, most people just became quiet and they said, we will not fight, we will not object. And one of the other signs that the Holy Prophet announced the Vilayat of Imam alayhi salam and succession is that he stopped everyone back and said, no one leaves until they pay allegiance to Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. No one is allowed to leave until they all pay allegiance to Ali ibn Abi Talib. So everyone stayed back and they all paid allegiance to Imam Ali alayhi salam. The paying allegiance to Imam Ali alayhi salam is in itself a sign that it is vilayat. They're all paying allegiance, doing bay'at of Imam Ali alayhi salam. That is vilayat that he's announcing. But, and then what were the people saying? Bakhin bakhin laka ibn Abi Talib. Congratulations to you, O son of Abu Talib. And they were all, Asbahta Maulaya Maula kulli mu'min wa mu'mina. Today you've become the master of every Muslim man and woman. Becoming friend, which he already was. If it is just friendship, then he was already. But if it meant something bigger, then that's what they're congratulating him about. Today you've become our Maula, our master. The mazlumiyat and the oppressedness of Imam Ali alayhi salam, that he was oppressed, is very unfortunate, but it is true, it's a fact. As soon as Ghadir, the people left, Imam Ali alayhi salam was lonely. He was all by himself, very few. The likes of Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu anhu, Abu Dhar al-Ghafari radiyallahu anhu, Miqdad al-Aswad radiyallahu anhu, and Ammar ibn Yasir radiyallahu anhu. Very few. The likes of these were very few. So majority left, and then Imam Ali Islam became isolated. And the Holy Prophet, after returning from Ghadir and Hajj, he came to Medina. He had been poisoned on the way and he was ill. He told Imam Ali Islam to lead prayers on his behalf. And one of the Ummahatul Mu'mineen, one of the mothers of the believers, she told her father to go and lead the prayers in place of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And the Holy Prophet got up and he said, what's going on? He said, well, why are you here, Ya Ali? He said, well, I wanted to go, but so-and-so has gone and I couldn't push him out and say that, I didn't want to be disrespectful for my own. You see, fighting for your own rights is not easy, because then people start thinking you are a worldly person. You're only doing it for position. So the Holy Prophet said, I will not let your right be taken away from you. Help me go to the masjid. And he came and he moved him out, the person who was leading the prayers, the first Khalifa, and he moved him out and he said, I will not allow this to happen. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ led the prayers himself. So Imam Ali Islam, even from that time onwards, he was under so much pressure. He himself says that if I spoke, then the people said, Ali has become a worldly person, just like all other men. If I didn't speak, they said, oh, it's not his right. The Khilafat and the government is not his right, and therefore that's why he doesn't speak. So he said on both ends, it was me who was under attack. It was my right being usurped. I saw my rights being taken away, and I kept quiet. As if there was a sting in my eye, I couldn't pull it out, and there was a bone stuck in my throat, which I could not take in or throw up. So he describes his rights being violated very maliciously by some of the companions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and he had to just keep quiet and just watch over the things that were going on and the people taking away everything from him. So he says that I yadin jazza, as if my hands had been cut off, and I was watching over people. So he says that I just kept quiet, doing sabran. He says I saw only that there was no way out of it except for having sabr, patience. So he said I kept with sabr, so much sabr that even not in this sermon in Khutbah Shaqi, but in another place, probably in this place, he says I had so much patience, so much sabr, that even now sabr turns around to me and says, Ya Ali, how much more will you keep quiet? The Holy Prophet asked him to have patience. Why? Because his right had been taken. Many people say that why did he keep quiet after his Fatima Zahra salam alaiha was attacked? Why did he keep quiet? Well, his own right was taken away and he kept quiet. So he was sabr. It was the sabr of Imam Ali alayhi salam. The way he describes, he says that it was the hardest time of his life after the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he did not complain once. He spoke out a few times, but the people were not willing to stand up with him and support him. In some historical accounts, it says that Hazrat Fatima Zahra one day said, Ya Ali, Ya Abul Hassan, take me to the houses of Ansar, the people of Medina. And at night, she would hold a stick in her hand, her back tilted over because she was hurt badly. The door had been dropped on her. And she went out with Imam Hassan and Hussein and Imam Ali to the houses and door to door of people of Medina. And she knocked on the door and she said, do you not remember my father made a will that support Ali ibn Abi Talib? Yes, we do remember, they said. Then why don't you come and support him? Okay, Bibi, we will. Will you? Okay, then, Ya Abul Hassan, tell them where to come. He would say, okay, come out of Medina in so and so masjid, and I will wait for you. Every day, Hazrat Fatima Zahra salam alaiha would ask Imam Ali alayhi salam when he would return in the morning, Ya Abul Hassan, what happened? How many people came? Imam Ali would just put his head down. Oh Fatima, oh daughter of the Holy Prophet, Yabnat Rasulullah, I prayed alone and I came back home. No one came. So after the Holy Prophet, have you heard that he worked in the garden of Jews? Do you know why? Because the government after the Holy Prophet ﷺ told the people of Medina, the Muslims, not to give Ali ibn Abi Talib any jobs. They took away fadak, they took away all the wealth from them, and they did not allow the people to give them job, to any work. So they would starve to death. So Imam Ali Islam would go out of Medina to go and work in the in the fields of the Jews. One day, Fatima Zahra salam alaiha asked him, she was very badly hurt all day long. She said, Ya Abul Hassan, O father of Hassan, some ladies have told me that when you go out in the streets of Medina or in the bazaar of Medina, the people of Medina, the Muslims, do not do salam to you. He put his head down. Ya Abul Hassan, tell me the truth. Is it true? They don't say salam to you? He said, O Fatima, not only that they don't do salam to me, when I say salam to them, they don't even return my salam. They don't even return my salam. Saying salam to someone is mustahab. Returning the salam is wajib. It is recommended to say salam to someone, to greet someone, but it is an obligation to return someone's salam. Can you imagine how the Muslims had become after the Holy Prophet ﷺ to his household? They were not willing to return the salam of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He was all in isolation. So he would go out and come back. His children were living like orphans because the people would not allow him to earn from his wealth, his own gardens and everything. They took away everything. And then he lost his beloved wife, Fatima Zahra. And in Nahj Balagha, in sermon number 202, he says, فَأَمَّا اللَّيَالِ فَمُسَحَدٌ. On the death, after burial of Hazrat Fatima, he buries her. He says, Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah. Salutations be upon you, O Messenger of Allah. Anni wa an Safiyatik. From me, salutations be upon you, from me and from your beloved daughter, Ya Rasulullah. And he said, she hastened to be with you. Allah Ya Rasulullah and Safiyatika sabri. But my patience, I'm losing my patience, Ya Rasulullah. My patience is very little now after losing your daughter. Meaning showing, oh Ali, the Ali that did not say my back is broken and I am grieved when he was fighting in any of the battles, but at the death and the martyrdom of his wife, Hazrat Fatima Zahra, he says, now my patience is little. And then he says, فَأَمَّا اللَّيَالِ فَمُسَحَدٌ. And as for my nights, they will remain without sleep. وَأَمَّا حُزْنِي فَسَرْمَدٌ. And as for my grief, it is eternal. I will never be able to forget the death of Fatima Zahra salam alayha. Had it been a natural death, he would have forgotten, but the martyrdom of Fatima was so depressing that he will never forget it. He never celebrated after Fatima Zahra. Even when he was elderly and someone said, Ya Ali, why don't you color your beard? It has turned white. He said, no, I'm still in grief. What is that grief? It is the grief of Fatima Zahra salam alayha. Our Sunni brothers say in Sharh Nahj Balagha, they say that no, it was probably the grief of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, but the way Fatima Zahra had been killed, he could never forget. He lost his child from her, Hazrat Muhsin. And after that, one after the other. Problems and problems and problems. Until he became Khalifa. And even then, who fought against him? It was the Muslims. One of the wives of the Holy Prophet led a whole battle against him, the battle of Jamal. Because she was on a camel fighting against Imam al-Islam, that's why it is called the Battle of Camel. Can you imagine? And the tragedy is that she and Talha and Zubair, they were all saying that Ali, you have to pay for the blood of Uthman, the third Khalifa who had been killed. Imam al-Islam said before the battle, are you demanding from me? I had no role in the assassination of Uthman. Was it not you, O Aisha, who gave sermons and said, "Uqtul an-na'sala fa innahu qad kafar"? He doesn't say that, but he says, who provoked the people against the third Khalifa? When she said to the people that, "Uqtul an-na'sa," kill the badger, because he was very hairy. فَإِنَّهُ قَدْ كَفَرْ, because he has become kafir. And she said to the people that I still have the shoes of the Holy Prophet. And this guy has now come to the member of the Holy Prophet. Was it not you, O Talha and Zubair? Now that he was killed, you are asking me for the revenge. And so many people say historically that many of those people who took part in the assassination or who were fighting had now taken positions in the army of Imam al-Islam. He became soldiers in Imam al-Islam's army. So they were saying that no matter what, he was the Khalifa. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ had said, Aliyun ma'al haq wal haqqu ma'aliyin. Ali is with the truth and truth is with Ali. Allahumma adril haqqa kama dar Ali. Oh Allah, turn the truth where Ali turns. And one of the ahadith that even al-Mu'minin Aisha herself, she has reported from the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Aliyun khairul bashar. Ali is the best of all men. After me, obviously. Aliyun khairul bashar. The Holy Prophet ﷺ says, Aliyun khairul bashar. Ali is the best of all men. Faman aba faqad kafar. Whoever denies this becomes a disbeliever. Then why fight against the best of the mankind? So when the battle of Jamal was about to happen, Imam al-Islam cried and he called on to Aisha and Talha and Zubair and said, please listen to me before you attack me. Come and listen to me. Talha did not come. Talha and Zubair were brother-in-laws of Aisha. So basically they were married to her sisters. And Talha was from Banu Umayyah. He was an Umayyad. And Zubair was from Bani Hashim. His mother was Safiya, who was the aunt of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and Imam Ali ﷺ. Paternal aunt. His mother was a sister of Hazrat Abdullah and Hazrat Abu Talib alayhim as-salam. So Imam Ali alayhi salam called on to them. Talha didn't come, Aisha didn't come, but Zubair came. He said, yes, Ya Ali, what do you want to say? He said, Zubair, do you remember that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, when you were walking behind me in Medina, he said, Zubair, do you love Ali? You said, yes. Do you remember Zubair? He said, no, I don't remember. He said, Zubair, let me remind you, the Holy Prophet asked you, oh Zubair, do you love Ali? And you said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. The Holy Prophet asked you, how much do you love him? You said, Ya Rasulullah, I love him so much that I can give my life for him and I can take a life for him. Now do you remember, Zubair? He said, yes, now I remember. The Holy Prophet asked me. He said, do you remember what else did the Holy Prophet say? He said, no, I don't remember. Why? Because it had been over 25 years. It had been some 30 years when the Holy Prophet had said this. He said, Zubair, the Holy Prophet then said to you, O Zubair, fear the day when you will fight against this Ali with the sword that you have. Fear the day, O Zubair, when you will fight against Ali. Do you remember Zubair? He cried. He said, yes. He said, O Zubair, you said to the Holy Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, I will not fight against Ali. And you started crying. And the Holy Prophet said, no, Zubair, you will fight Ali. You will fight him. And the Holy Prophet said, don't fight against Ali. Zubair started crying. He said, yes, now I remember. I did. The Holy Prophet did say this to me. When Zubair started crying, Imam Ali al-Islam cried and he embraced him and said, Zubair, don't do this. Don't fight against me. Zubair left and he said, Ya Ali, but my sons are on the other side. Because Hazrat Aisha did not have any children, so the sons of her sisters, especially Abdullah ibn Zubair and Musab ibn Zubair, Zubair's children, they were very close to her and they used to provoke her to fight against Imam Ali Islam so they could get the Khilafat. And later on they did get the Khilafat after Muawiyah anyway. So he said, my sons are on the other side. He said, no, don't listen to your sons. Listen to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Jafar Sadiq al-Islam says, Kana Zubair minna Ahl al-Bayt. Zubair was with the Ahl al-Bayt. He was supportive. Kana minna. Like Salman minna Ahl al-Bayt. Salman is from the Ahl al-Bayt. So Zubair is from the Ahl al-Bayt. Kana Zubair. Zubair was from the Ahl al-Bayt. Hatta walada lahu waladun shu'um. Until a very cursed son was born to him. Meaning Abdullah ibn Zubair, who made the father an enemy of Ahlul Bayt. Zubair left the battle and he told his sons, he said, I'm not going to fight against Ali ibn Abi Talib. Abdullah ibn Zubair knew his father's psychology. He said, Why not? Because he is lion of Allah and you are a chicken, you are weak. He said, I'm not weak. Zubair was not a coward. But his son knew how to play his father. So he said, oh, you know, you are a coward. You can't fight Ali ibn Abi Talib because he's lion. He said, no, I'm not a coward. He said, you are a coward. He said, no, I'm not. He pulled out his sword and he attacked Imam al-Islam's army. Imam al-Islam pointed to his army and said, no one should fight Zubair. No one attack him. Don't kill him. So Zubair attacked and he went into the army and the army started splitting open. And he crossed the whole army, came back and he said to his son, see, no one is willing to fight me. I'm so brave. The son said, no, Ali told them not to fight you. That's why they're not fighting you. He said, no, okay, I will not take part in this battle. Ibn Jarmuz, one of the soldiers of Imam Ali, he went and Zubair was sitting down crying. He went and struck the sword and took off his neck, cut his neck, and he held his hair and he brought the head of Zubair and threw it in the feet of Imam Ali. He said, Ya Ali, I have cut the head of Zubair. Imam Ali said, Ibn Jarmuz, did you hear me when I said no one kill Zubair? He said, yes, I heard you. He said, then why did you kill him? He said, I just wanted to kill him. So this is the first place in Islam where from a hadith it says the qatil and maqtul are both going to hell. Qatil, the murderer of Zubair, and Zubair, because he did not just leave the battle, he left. He did not just leave Aisha's side, he also left Imam Ali alayhi salam. You see, in the matter of imamat, you cannot be neutral. You cannot say, I'm not on either side. You're either on the side of the truth or you're not. Ali is the truth. The Holy Prophet said that. So he left Imam Ali alayhi salam. The battle happened and then Imam Ali alayhi salam fought and he cut the legs of the camel that she was on and he told the people to leave and they all started running away. And then he told he first told Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, who was on his side, he said, tell your sister to go back to Medina. She refused. Then he told Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas to go and tell her to go back to Medina. She refused. Then he told Imam Hassan alayhi salam and he said, tell her, I will use my right to divorce her if she doesn't go back. So then she went back when Imam Hassan came and told her to go back. But she continued to be against Imam alayhi salam all her life and against Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Then the Battle of Siffin, where Muawiyah brought a whole army of 80,000 people against Imam Ali alayhi salam. 60,000 or 80,000 people. And then Khawarij. I would not say these words, but the history had not mentioned. They started saying, Ya Ali akfarta, astaghfirullah, Ya Ali, you've become kafir, you are a disbeliever. And the slogan they gave, Inal hukma illa lillah. The government is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Ali Islam said, Kalimatu haqqin yuradu bihal batil. They are saying the right slogan, it is the truth. The Holy Quran says it. It's an ayat from the Holy Quran. Kalimatu haqqin. Inal hukma illa lillah. That no one has a right to rule except for Allah. Yuradu bihal batil, but the intent is false. Allah will not come and rule himself. Allah is not a body. Some man has to rule. Some human being has to rule. Imma fasiqin or imma adil. Whether a just person or an unjust person. Someone has to rule. So Imam Ali Islam continuously faced hardship even from, kuffar, disbelievers, and then from munafiqeen, from the hypocrites. They would continuously fight against him. They revolted and rebelled against him. Siffin, the Holy Prophet in Sahih Bukhari says that, Ya Ammar sataqtulka fi'atul baghiya. O Ammar, a rebel group will kill you. And who killed him? Muawiyah and his army. So they were the rebels of Islam. Fi'atul baghiya, they were the rebels of Islam. They rebelled against Islam. They rebelled against Amir al-Mu'mineen, Qa'id al-Muhajjalin, They rebelled against the commander of the faithful and the leader of the people whose foreheads will be shining on the day of judgment. That's a title given to him by the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Qa'id Ghurr al-Muhajjalin. Qa'id, leader. Ghurr al-Muhajjalin. You know a horse, in Arabian horse, a brown or black horse that has a white mark on his forehead. It is regarded as a very beautiful mark on the forehead of a white mark on the forehead of a black or a brown horse. It's called Ghurra. Imam Ali Islam's title is Qa'id Ghurr al-Muhajjalin. Muhajjal is something which is shining. Imam Ali is the leader of the people with the shining foreheads. Ya'subul mu'mineen. He is the attraction for all the believers. He is the central point and the love, the king of the believers. And yet, the munafiqeen were against him. Yesterday I told you that Imam Ali alayhi salam was struck by Abdurrahman ibn Muljim, la'natullahi alayh. His sons picked him up and brought him to the house. Imam Ali alayhi salam was not crying after being struck by Abdurrahman ibn Muljim, la'natullahi alayh. He did not cry when he saw his sons. He said, "No, sons." He did not cry when he saw his Shias crying. He said, "No, it's okay." He held himself strong. But as soon as Imam Ali alayhi salam saw his daughters crying, he started crying. He could not bear the pain of his daughters. He could not take it when his daughters were crying. I would say, Maulana, today your daughters are in the house and you are present above them and your sons are present before them and they are crying and you cannot take the pain. Maulana, what are you going to do when your daughters are brought to the streets of Kufa and Damascus by the so-called Muslims and they will be hit by the stones in the streets of Kufa and the people shout their names and say, sisters of the rebels are coming to the streets? Maulana, how will you take the pain when your granddaughters like Sakina and Ruqayya are smacked by the likes of Shimr in the plains of Karbala? Maulana, what would you do when your daughters are held in ropes and brought before the likes of Yazid, la'natullahi alayh? Maulana, today you see your daughters cry and you are crying. People brought a doctor and they said, we want this doctor to see Ali ibn Abi Talib. And the doctor came and looked at the wound and he said to Imam Hassan alayhi salam, he said, your father, whoever has struck him so badly that his skull is now ripped open. And the poison, the sword had so much poison that the poison has reached his feet. He will not survive this strike. The only way you can delay his death is by giving him milk. That will delay his death. He will be martyr. His martyrdom is inevitable. When the people of Kufa heard that Imam Ali alayhi salam has been struck so badly that the poison has reached his feet, everyone was talking about that the only thing that can delay his shahadat is milk. The orphans of Medina started rushing with milk in small utensils, coming to the door of Imam Ali alayhi salam and said, "Oh Maula Hassan, today we will not drink the milk because it is our master Ali who used to bring us milk every day. We will not drink milk. We want to give our milk to Imam Ali alayhi salam." Imam Hassan started crying and went back to Imam Ali. He said, "Father, the orphans of Kufa have now come to our door and they say that we will not drink milk and we want to give our milk to Imam Ali alayhi salam." Imam Ali cried and said, "Oh Hassan, your father has never taken anything from the orphans. He never takes the rights of orphans. Tell these orphan children to drink the milk and they will please me." And the last day, the last night came of Imam Ali alayhi salam and all of his sons and daughters, his wives are all sitting there crying. And he said to Imam Hassan, "Oh Hassan, I give the hand of Zainab in your hand. Please, all of my sons and daughters, please look after them." And moment came, he said, "Oh Hassan, pick me up, lift me up and make me sit down. Your grandfather, the Holy Prophet ﷺ has come. Your mother Fatima has come. I want to show respect. All of the messengers and prophets had now come to receive me. He sat him up. He said, Assalamu alayka ya Rasulallah. All of them had come to receive him and to welcome him to the next realm, the realm of the hereafter. They all came to receive him. There came a moment when Imam Ali alayhi salam closed his eyes and he had left this world. Imam Hassan alayhi salam gave him ghusl and kafan, and he raised his coffin and he wanted to take him to Najaf. He told all of his brothers, he said, you all remain at home and only my brother Hussein will come. Our father had made a will that none of my sons are allowed to go in my funeral. None of my Shias are allowed to go in my funeral. Only Hassan and Hussein will take my coffin. Two men came from outside who had their faces covered. Later, Imam Hassan was asked, who were these two men? He said, one was Jibrail, the other one was Mikail. Jibrail and Mikail came to receive the funeral coffin of Imam Ali alayhi salam. They carried him. When they left, they took him to Najaf and buried him there. When on their way back, they heard in a house which was a ruin, that there was a man crying that it has been 2 days, today is the third day when a person who used to feed me every day hasn't come. They both, Imam Hassan and Hussein, looked at each other. They started crying. They went inside and they saw an elderly man was sitting, a blind person was sitting crying. They said, what's wrong? He said, a man used to come every day, feed me. He used to feed me every day. And he hasn't come. Today is the third day he hasn't come. They both started crying. They said, do you know his name? He said, no, I don't know his name. He said, whenever I used to ask him, what's your name? He used to say, Ghareebun jalisan ghariba, Miskinun jalisan miskina. One poor person is sitting with another. You don't need to know my name. He said, do you have any signs? He said, no, I could not see him because I'm blind. I don't remember anything from him. But I do know one thing. Whenever he used to do tasbih, when he was here feeding me, the whole of this house used to do tasbih with him. Everything would do tasbih with him. And he used to have the same perfume as you. His body used to smell like you. Imam Hassan and Hussein started crying and they said, do you know it was Ali ibn Abi Talib? The man started crying and said, it was my master Ali. They said, yes. He said, what happened to him? He said, he was struck by Abdurrahman ibn Muljim and he has left this world. He has accepted martyrdom. The man cried and he said, please take me to his grave. Imam Hassan and Hussein alayhi salam brought him to the grave of Imam Ali alayhi salam. The man cried and said, Ya Ali, when you were alive, you used to come to me. When you left this world, why did you leave me alone? Ya Ali, call me to you. I do not wish to live anymore. He cried and he dropped on the floor. He died. Imam Hassan gave him ghusl and kafan and buried him in Najaf. Oh Allah, for the sake of Ali ibn Abi Talib, for the sake of the sons of Ali, oh Allah, hasten in the reappearance of the 12th Imam alayhi salam. Oh Allah, protect the holy sites for the sake of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ala la'natullahi ala al-qawmi al-zalimin wa sayalamu alladhina zalamu ayya munqalibin yanqalibun.